Bayern Munich are playing in the Bundesliga. We're playing Freiburg, and Freiburg are in front of us. They are above us in the table. I think maybe by 1 point. They're second. I think we're third. So it's a big game for Bayern in the Bundesliga. Of course, we are a couple of points behind Union Berlin, and of course, in the Bundesliga, we've had this run where we've only had one win out of 6 games, which I think must be one of Bayern's worst runs in years, really, probably like over 10 years. Such is the drawish nature, such is the lack of clinicality displayed by our forwards, the lack of good play displayed by Bayern players recently. Who will play in this big game versus Freiburg, though? We've, of course, just played in Pilsen in the Champions League. And we played very well, but my one gripe with Nagelsmann in that game was that why did we need to play the biggest, our best team in such a small game when we have more important matters in the Bundesliga to look forward to? But I'm expecting our best possible team also for this game, and I'm expecting our best possible team also in midweek versus Barcelona. We're going to be running our players ragged, but I guess that's okay. I think that's what Nagelsmann will do. So who will we see? Nagelsmann has said Neuer is out. Musiala, he has said, will be on the bench. He's fit to be on the bench. He's not fit to start yet, though, after he had some slight problem. He said that Davies should be able to play. De Ligt and Gnabry also should be fit, so I guess we could expect them to be fit for the starting lineup, potentially. Without further ado, let's get into this starting lineup. I think it'll be Ulreich in goal, of course, but he was a liability. Let's make no mistake about it versus Pilsen. His distribution was just so poor a couple of times, 2-3 times. Passed the ball right into the path of a Pilsen attacker, and luckily these guys are Czech farmers, so they weren't able to finish their chances. But against a good team, against a Freiburg who are doing really well, who are smashing their Europa League group, this distribution will be a worry, and I hope Nagelsmann caters the tactics towards more long balls to because Ulreich can't play it short simply. But I think he still remains a good shot stopper, nonetheless. In defence, I think Davies will come back in at left back. It'll be Upamecano for sure at centre back. Partnering him could be Pavard, like we saw in midweek versus Pilsen. But if De Ligt is fit to play, I think it will be De Ligt who plays, and that means it'll be Pavard on the right-hand side. I think Pavard has been very solid this season, always getting like 7.5s in my player ratings. And I don't think you can bench him on that. But in contrast, on the other hand, Mazraoui has been excellent when he's played. He was excellent again versus Pilsen, because he is occupying this right half space role and really being able to dribble, acting as another 6, incisive Kimmich-esque through balls. It's a hard situation, coach's nightmare, but also coach's blessing. 2 great right backs he has right now. I think that Pavard gets the nod here. But there's a small chance Mazraoui would play instead of Pavard, but there's also a chance that Pavard plays centre-back, and that would allow Mazraoui to play at right-back. In midfield, I think it's pretty certain we'll see Kimmich Goretzka. Nagelsmann was asked about Goretzka in the press conference, and he said that players play based on their performances, and no one can deny Goretzka's performances have been unreal last 3 games. He's had 3 close to man-of-the-match performances, I would say. He's so dangerous running into the box late as that attacking option, and I think that really Goretzka must play. That means he'll partner Kimmich in midfield. Kimmich will sit deeper, allow Goretzka license to roam, and I'm hoping for a really strong performance from Leon Goretzka. Another goal from him, that would be nice to see after he scored a brace in the Champions League. Honestly, he could be one of our main goal scorers if he continues like this. So powerful and so strong in the box. In attack, it will be Coman, Sane, Mane, and Muller, I think. So the obvious one left out there is Gnabry, and Gnabry should be fit, as Nagelsmann said. So I could imagine Gnabry playing for Mane or Sane, because Mane or Sane both have not played that much. I mean, no, sorry, the opposite of that. They've both played a horrendous amount recently. They've played something like 5, 6 straight games, and they weren't even really. Mane hasn't even really been subbed that much. I don't think he's been playing the full games. So I think that we could see Gnabry come in for one of these two players, but Sane is playing so well right now, and I think Nagelsmann will really want Sane on the field at the very least. Mane is playing decently, I'll say. He's got goals, but the performances haven't been great. So I could see Gnabry coming in for him, but I think it's quite unlikely because I think Nagelsmann will try and keep the momentum with the team he's been playing and what he thinks is his best team, which I don't think includes Gnabry right now. Up front will be Thomas Muller. I think if Thomas Muller is fit, Nagelsmann said that if he's playing in this final training session today, and if all goes well, he will be able to play tomorrow. So I expect he'll start tomorrow. He played well versus Pilsen. He played well versus Leverkusen in his last 2 games. So I think that we'll see Muller. I think he'll be important in that striker role. And let's talk about the tactics, which I think will be very similar to the match versus Pilsen. Muller will start up front, but it won't really be him up front that much. It'll more be him leading the press in the defensive stages, bringing Mane and Coman up. But in the offensive stages, Muller will sometimes drop deep and collect the ball onto on-rushing Sane, Coman and Mane. He'll sometimes roam around. The front floor will be very fluid. They'll be interchanging and interconnecting throughout the match. So oftentimes you'll see Sane up front, you'll see Mane up front and Sane to the wing and Muller dropping deep, etc. That's how it will work. And I think Mane, because he's on that left-hand side with Davies, one of two options. Davies will either provide lots of width, which will allow Mane inside, which is what I think will happen. And that means that Mane will often be acting as a striker also, because he's playing quite far inside. But another option that Nagelsmann talked about is that Davies is now playing, inside fullback, sort of like Mazraoui has been playing. So we could see Mane providing lots of width. We'll see on the game. Goretzka, you've seen I've drawn him very far forward in front of Kimmich, and I think that's how he's been playing for Bayern in the past few weeks, where he's really going into the box, and Kimmich is really the one that dropped deep. Because in the past, Goretzka stayed often and Kimmich pushed forward, but I think now Goretzka's really going forward. He's going to make those runs into the box, and he's really it's going to be a front 5 of Mane, Goretzka, Muller, Sane, Coman. He's really going to interact with these front 5, and while the front 4 are dragging opposition defenders away, he will be the one who's free, making those late Frank Lampard-esque runs into the box. And that's where he'll be found by Coman, Pavard, Davies, etc. So I think that it's a good shout for Goretzka to get another goal during this match. As for Sane, I think Sane will play as a cam, but he'll be slightly maybe more on the right-hand side if Mane really does go in far inside, and especially because Goretzka probably will also help on that left-hand side. But he'll also be interchanging with Muller. He'll be roaming around. He played really well versus Pilsen in that cam position, so I think he'll be good. Coman will provide lots of width on the right-hand side, that's for sure. And Pavard will be slightly more inside. Pavard will still go on those overlaps, but Coman will provide the majority of width. And that means that Sane can sometimes have a lot of space in that right-hand side also, because Coman's really dragging the defenders out. He'll be able to interact with Muller, with Sane. But as we saw versus Pilsen, Coman got that assist on the left-hand side. There'll still be constant interchanging. Kimmich will drop deep, act as a defensive midfielder. It looks like the Kimmich-Goretzka midfield might finally have some stability, so I'm looking forward to seeing it in action versus Freiburg. As for my score predictions, I'm predicting a win for Bayern. I think that we're going to win 3-1. I think it's going to be a return to form for Bayern, return back to good things, and I've questioned the Muller striker option, but it's worked versus Pilsen. It's worked versus Leverkusen. If it works versus a team as good as Freiburg, who have been one of the best teams in the Bundesliga this season, maybe it can be our viable tactic going forward throughout the whole year. So I'm very looking forward to it. It'd be really interesting to see if it works out. Come back for the player ratings, the match reactions, and let me know how you found the video. Goodbye.